a good opening for them, but for JDG, it must continue on. As they're now on the blue side, and there is a Pyke ban, there is an Akali ban.
Those are Flande bans.
He's
probably the best Akali top laner that we have.
He must be
the
the best Pyke top lane in the LPL, which we have not seen yet,
We have not seen yet. These teams are getting some scouting information from somewhere. We don't know where they're getting it, but they definitely have a good idea of what's happening. Also, we should mention that Plex has been tearing it up on Aurelia. His most played champion in Korean solo queue hasn't been banned so far, so I want to see what the Aurelia Master can do.
Looked pretty good on the Silas in game one, albeit a quiet one, but Plex might be the perfect addition here to LNG to come into the summer split. More on that a little bit later, as the Aurelia is banned by LNG a second time. First it was on blue side for them, now on red side they ban it again. Scared of Yagao or Zoom getting that one, so JDG, knowing that's gone away, it's just back to the support and Lumao. Unfortunately, guys, it is still technically a flex, but you know that's going down to the bottom lane.
Jace, Ryze, and Nico are the big flexes that are still open right now. Nautilus, first pick. That's a challenge to the champions that Duan can play. Now, Duan, we were talking about, was playing more about engaged champions. I'm not sure if he's going to have something like the Morgana, which can counteract Nautilus well, or if he's going to play something. Well, he's going to stick to the Galio.
That's an all-in combination brewing, though, Clement.
Lots of wombo combo flanking potential.
Yep. And Imp finally gets his Sivir. This was banned away even before Sivir started coming into the meta. Yeah. End of last split, Imp lost his Sivir many, many times over. So it is a favorite of his, and it's good to see that we finally get to experience it. But this is one that's been left open, Clement. Jace is always banned. You take away Morgana from someone like Lumao, he locks in Nautilus, and JDG get a Jace, which is so rare to see.
So JD Gaming already have good foundations. They're going to have a shoving top lane, a shoving bot lane. It's a good combination to then just build a strong mid and have an early game-centric composition that can go very, very aggressively earlier on. LNG have to weigh their options. If they fall too far behind in terms of the development curve, then they're going to be wiped off the map. You're basically hoping that you don't get Infernals and Mountain Drakes spawned at that point.
What else facilitates at this point? You just see the Xayah locked in on here for Asura. So curious again, because the Ezreal was available, but wants to take a different route here in this game number 2.
Definitely going to be the LeBlanc Zoe bans coming out. JD Gaming are going to target the jungle. I think the jungle's the... If they get all the strong junglers, then LNG will have a very hard time holding their composition together. Yeah. Nico's not great on the weak side. The Xayah lane should be shoved in early as well.
Clement, you also noticed that in both these games, Olaf has just sailed by.
I'm honestly surprised that's the case. That was the first game that we've seen that did not feature an Olaf.
Yeah.
It was 100% ban pick before that. And like we were talking about, LeBlanc Zoe, LNG, wow, almost have the exact same read I do. I was like, I want Yagao to play LeBlanc and Zoe. And they take both of those away.
Yeah, so real big targets here, even if that could be a Yagao Jace mid.
Oh, yeah.
Flex potential still there. SofM's Lee Sin, legendary. Very rare to see it. But this is like, what, Season 6, Season 7, Clement?
That's what I love to see. Outside being a genius on SofM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. An innovative player. He's also a very decent Lee Sin player. Like, good mechanics all around.
I mean, we have very good Lee Sin junglers here right now on Summoner's Rift, but what takes Lee Sin by surprise? What brings AP damage to a composition that already has a lot of AD on the Sivir, on the Jace? Elise, welcome back to the LPL.
Wow, we've been seeing so many Jace Elise lanes. It's an absolute kill lane in the top side.
Yeah. Or the mid side.
LNG's gonna find it very difficult to sway this. They're gonna have to look for something. Let's see. So Victor's definitely going up against Nico in the mid. Jace, well, there are no Jace counters, so something that just survives, can't push out. I think they just need to find a shoving lane. Let Xayah scale up.
Let's see, because we're playing with so many darn flexes here across the board.
Yeah.
You're still looking at that JD side, blue side composition. That's a cannon, so Nico into the mid lane.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely is.
So I actually like the Kennen because it fits Flande's style quite well. We've seen in the previous game.
Yep.
It's much easier to flank with that champion rather than Nico. And once you're post 6, there's still a good chance of you finding the kills onto someone like Victor. Remember, LNG do not play for the early laning phase. They play more for the mid-game team fights. So even though Victor is going to have an advantage over Kennen in lane, LNG are probably not that worried about it. And we're likely going to be seeing a Abyssal Voyage, not Abyssal Voyage, sorry, the Glacial Augment and into a Q-Max Nico that can just shove the wave out.
I'd expect to see that because in the mid lane, look, at the very least, you need some kind of resolve tree or you need something defensive on the side of the Nico. Ignite Jace mid, right? No TP, no shenanigans. Yeah, Flande claps his hands. He's ready. He's feeling it. And to be fair, spirits are running very high in LNG. JDG having the same feeling there as you zoom past your screen. LNG have a new flag. Yes. A lot of support out. And when you have big players like Flande, SofM, they follow the players. And Leaning have attracted a large audience here today in the new Snake Pit.
Every time we go to the Snake Pit, it's absolutely filled with fans.
Yeah.
If you look at all the rest of the stadiums, I don't think you'll find one that's always jet-packed. And Chongqing, it's been a city that's been known for passion, known for spicy food and hot pot.
As you keep telling me. And you say take a day break after it. Well, Clibbert, after this game, depending on how it goes, I might have to have a break as the fans are out in force, waiting to hear their cries echo through the arena. LNG up 1 game against JDG. Is this the start of something great in summer? Or a JD just moving into it? Explosive game ahead. Was that Leaning's cry, Clement?
I think it was. We heard the dialect of Chongqing.
Yeah.
When they're shouting Xiongqi.
That is packed to the brim. That stage is actually huge as JDG themselves looking for a quick invade onto the blue side.
That's when you know the home away system is working. You know, in terms of the record, LNG doesn't have the best record, but they still have a stable fan base in their home arena.
If you're not aware of what I'm talking about, of course, all our LPL teams, okay, 6 of our LPL teams have arenas.
Playing across 7 stadiums total.
6? Oh, 7. Yep, of course. Teams that don't go to Shanghai. And Colonel comes out in force once again. He's talking about a scaling element here. There are big parts of JDG that will get to that late game as well. Namely the Sivir into late. Ooh, Victor, I mean, Victor's okay too.
SofM, most likely knowing that there's going to be a ward right there.
It's happening again. Welcome back, Lumal. His debut into this series. And for LNG, Clement, let's break this down a little bit more because I said it was starting for a Wombo, but it looks like there's so many elements of this team fight that could be dangerous. So many elements that as Yagao just pops out Plex that are easy to layer down for LNG.
Yeah, interesting build path right here. Plex actually going for a stronger laning phase. I thought he was going to focus on the team fight and go for Glacial Augment that we've been seeing a lot more, but wants to stay even in lane with Yagao. Interesting choice. For LNG, like we saw the Colonel, I agree with him on this one. It is a later scaling team composition. You have Sivir and Jace that are actually quite easy to take down in the later game, and Xayah is just a champion with superior range in that matchup. If they get the Wombo combo, the team fight, Lee Sin can come in, prop up the hero's entrance, and you have 2 giant AoEs from both the Kennen and the Pop Blossom coming in. So that's the general idea, still the same. You're going to have very strong flanks when it comes to the big 5v5 team fights. While JD Gaming, they're much more about lane priority and how much they can cash out on this in the early game.
Much like this early game need, Flawless has gone for the invade while SofM pathing very precariously. Flawless is there, gets the cocoon, he'll get the burst. Electrocute's going to come through only once as Yagao wants the second proc of it, taking it into the mid lane. Repels up, he will just get starbursted on back down. Plex helps out his jungler, SofM very close to dying.
And that's the difference between Teeen and Lumal. Look at Lumal, already in the mid lane, level 2. That's what happens when your main roamer is also your shot caller. You can make a lot more plays that look like that.
Yeah. It looks like with Flawless moving down there as well, bot side river is going to be theirs. That's Scuttle Crab taken, and double Scuttle here for JDG's jungler. With the bottom lane that is slowly pushing into them, but they don't want it to come to the turret. They're going to reset it, enable Flawless to maybe make something happen down here.
Good Drakes as well. Can get the mountain. Very good start from JD Gaming. Should be expected that they take both of the scuttles. Like, all three of their lanes should actually be favored in this game.
Close calls. Asura teleports in. Flawless is here. He's just walked over a ward. After picking up the Scuttle Crab, we'll just have to go back to his own jungle. In a good position right now, but SofM spotted the exact same way. Over a small ward to the side. He's going for the invade. This is so aggressive. A lot of scuffling from both junglers expected in this early game.
Usually in a game like this, the most important part is when JD Gaming's lanes start to spill into LNG. Or SofM could just walk into their own jungle.
Yeah, he could do that. That's a flash cocoon. Hello. SofM saves his summoner. Flawless down without a very key part of Elise's kit being that summoner. SofM goes on in. Sonic Wave, the Resonating Strike does eventually get over to the Raptor. Level 4 on both junglers. Flawless, good timing there of the Repel, but Lumao is waiting behind him as Duan and Asura have made the roam as well. This is in no way, shape, or form the same as Game 1.
So aggressive. I can't believe SofM got away with everything that happened right there. Mid lane had priority, bot lane had priority. Yeah. But unfortunately, JD Gaming, they were a little bit slow, and SofM, the thief that we're talking about, does manage to step away with, I believe he got the big Raptor.
I think so. He's got the CS advantage there, but he is still farming away, so either way, thank you, Zoom. Yes, good communication. That's what friends are for. During that roam, though, as Lumao is just making another one himself, welcome back to the mid lane. Imp was able to push out the wave, has a CS advantage himself, and close to 10, maybe 5 now that it does eventually reset. Imp's coming down here, though. This is perfect here for the Sivir in the sneaky cosplay.
Yes, coming out 6 minutes with his item leads here. So the key thing to watch for is JD Gaming's invade onto the blue buff. They have the timer down on lock. They know what's happening within the next minute, and they should have priority. Look at this wave. Yagao is going to have easy time dealing with his wave. He should be able to set where he wants the wave to be. Elise is in place. She has the red buff over towards the blue buff. So that should be the big point of contest. And I want to see how LNG actually deal with this. Are they going to just give it up, or are they going to set up traps?
Because LNG, it's pretty easy to set up what you'd call a trap here. Lee Sin, Galio. You know, if the roam comes down from Plex as well, he has TP. Very easy to find lockdown here, even in this early game for a team like LNG.
The trap that I have in mind is basically a teleport ward. The difference between Kennen coming in level 6 and Victor is tremendous. Yes. So if they can find, if they can drop a ward somewhere in their own river or outside the ramp where they can close on the enemy if they ever try for that engage, that would be what I would be looking for. But JD Gaming actually don't have the timing to go in. I'm a little bit surprised by this.
Yeah. Hello, Slicing Maelstrom. Okay, that's just to push the wave out, of course, but Flande is going to get the exact same response here from Zoom. And Victor pushes the wave out incredibly fast, so Flande will probably have to teleport back to lane, depending on how this goes, but top lane will be TP for TP, ult for ult, as it were, as SofM is dangerously low at this Gromp. He smites to heal back up. Lumao has no idea he's there, nor does Flawless.
So no invade happening from JD Gaming. It's a bit of a missed opportunity. They do have the Mountain Drake next. I just can't imagine LNG ever trying to contest with that. No, I think this is a successful early game from LNG. They're not behind. They're continuing to scale up.
But much better early game for JDG.
True. I mean, the top lane's not down by
yes, that's the point. That's my point. Like, Flande is not 3-0. The cannon is at a stable point, and in fact, Zoom is actually ahead in CS as the wave's crashing in. About 15, almost 20 CS up. And everywhere else, you know, Imp, almost 15 CS there. Mid lane's even. A good news story for JDG if you want to talk about their early game in the comparison, yeah. How they project and how they start putting the pace up.
But the difference is they're expected to have a good early game.
Yeah.
When you have 3 winning lanes, it's if you have a
Very
bad
fair.
early game, oh yeah, something's wrong with you.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
I think at this point as well for JDG, they just need good news stories. So having a winning early game and an early game winning, just still so fantastic considering how the last 3 individual games have gone. 2 against FPX, 1 against LNG. It's just not been a good news story. And it just, I said it before.
Yeah.
It's not JDG that we knew and loved from coming into playoffs.
Ooh, this is bad for Flawless. If he gets caught out.
He's been spotted. He actually peeked his little pinky toe around the side. SofM and Plex know they're there. The shock blast comes through accelerated. Force will pick up the scuttle. He now needs movement speed. Sonic Wave connects. Repel, but to where? Right back down the flash kick on top of the Nico. First blood for Plex.
And it really is the smallest of margins that cost you the most. Flawless right there, just set a pixel forward, was spotted out by LNG. You could see the pings going down, and an instant play. Great idea by SofM. Doesn't hold on to the flash, gets the kickback, and first blood going over to LNG. This really isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, no option for Yagao to join there as well. The Jace with the electrocute could have done a lot with the serrated Dirk, but SofM spots Flawless out. Big mistake here from JDG's jungler.
That just feels bad. Of course, SofM did have an inkling that that's where Flawless was going to be. The scuttle was coming up right there. There's a lot of unfortunate things happening there. And you have to say, that's what happens in competitive, the smallest of margins.
But I will say, what we were talking about before, where Plex might not have the synergy with SofM, that was perfectly coordinated from the Nico mid. So props to the Korean mid laner versus the Vietnamese jungler.
Yeah. Maybe their coach was truthful.
Hand
he doesn't
signals.
speak Chinese, but he speaks Vietnamese.
Yeah. And that's just going to help out so much because Plex was down CS as we talked about with the winning lanes, but now is caught up, has the kill. And that is a Hextech Revolver first. So Proto Belt Nico in the works, or are we just going back to... Wait. What are we looking at here, Clement? No, Proto Belt, there we go.
Wow.
No Hosey for this guy.
Huh.
Girl.
That's very interesting. You typically don't think about Nico as needing the Proto Belt. She doesn't really want to go in for extra damage. No gap closers.
What a legacy, though, to start off, don't you
Yeah,
think? Plex
we've
joins
seen the
LPL.
GLP a lot for
Yep.
the slow field and all that, but okay.
Very interesting. Pings coming out here as Plex just knows that Yagao's moving across. Lumao roaming with the mobility boots and Force is shortly behind him. SofM takes a big shock blast, but he'll heal up here at the Raptors. SofM still nearby as Plex gets the lockdown here. Locks with a Q. Yagao takes full damage from that as well. That's a Yomu's versus a Proto Belt in the mid lane. First items completed across the board, so if the junglers get involved, Flawless and SofM have their items to boot as well.
Yep. So as long as LNG don't try to contest, they even get something back, I think it's favorable. The next move for JD Gaming is how much they can snowball away from the bottom side. Because once they get this, they could potentially go for a 4v2 in the bottom lane.
Yep.
You can see LNG, their bot lane's backing off right now. They know this is a position they don't want to be in. Pushed out the wave, just left. Asura actually stays, so okay.
He's running low on CS, Clement. He needs something. Probably very close to that Essence Reaver, you'd have to think. As Rift Herald does go down, LNG pick up the objective, head towards the top side. Is this going to be a quick channel, or once again, no, back to the Krugs? We'll do it later, says SofM.
Yeah, here's the big snowball point that they have to do. If they don't get any kills, it's just going to be a straight tower trade, and that definitely will favor LNG, who wants to go later anyway.
Yeah. Rift Herald, kaboom! Thank you very much. SofM and Flande pick up the gold. Well, this is a bit of a turret race, Clement.
Wonder who's going to be faster. Can Zoom get the ultimate? He does go
slicing Maelstrom. It's going to be timed out. Flande takes a heck of a lot of damage with SofM. They're at half health. Pop Blossom coming down, and that's the real kaboom. SofM picks up the kill. Plex roams up fast, but they lose the first turret.
Okay, my verdict is not worth not worth the 300 gold, because he's going to miss out on so many minions at this point. It's going to be quite painful for him.
Well, what you can say, though, is that for Zoom, he delayed it enough so that JDG can get the second shot. Flawless has jungle control on the bot side. LNG are not moving here. this could just be another turret taken down.
Yeah, it does seem like 2 at this point. Kennen no ultimate. So, maybe I was wrong. It's a difference between who the gold actually goes to. So in this instance, Zoom actually falls down behind quite a bit in his own gold share, but his bottom lane does come out ahead.
You okay, sir? You okay? I got you.
Just adjusting my mic.
Okay, all right. Just worried about you there, Clement. You're dipping in and out. This is, though, for JDG, I think a favorable players will watch how Zoom delayed this for so long.
Yeah, actually the second tower does make it favorable for JD Gaming. It's a smart idea to use the Chaos Storm. Unfortunately, he didn't clear out most of the wave like he would have liked to, but he does get the damage to force off and enough time to buy his team the tempo lead necessary to get the second tower on the bot side.
Just what JDG ordered in a team that needs the tempo, Clement. And look at the plating combination even after getting the second turret. It's going to be quite even across the board, much like the gold lead right now, which has a small favor to JDG, but Flande doesn't know what he's stopped on. Oh, the proto belt comes out. He does avoid it. The slicing mushrooms back up and again and available. Yagao makes him flash into flawless. Peekaboo! And the spider ends up devouring him.
One of the most tragic flash we've seen in this young season so far, and that's just a case of trying to push up while not really having the vision for it. His top lane was there, got a little bit greedy, wanted to reset the wave.
Yeah.
You have to call that a mistake.
You have to say that's success, though, for Flawless. Elise, you know, just wants that 2 items, 3 items to get the pick off. But Zoom getting bullied again. I've seen this movie, Clement. I've seen it all before. SofM, put the subtitles on, buddy. LNG, continue to just read this one like a book.
I'm telling you, SofM, when he's on that Lee Sin, you're in for a treat. He's actually one of the better Lee Sins we have in the league.
Yeah, and we've got good Lee Sins, though.
Yeah, got Karsa's one of them.
Duan hasn't been spotted out. LNG looking for the flank around the turret. Asura just sitting here by himself. Shock blast misses, but the wave clear is there. That's all that matters. While top lane turret goes down. LNG have transitioned this early to mid game so nicely.
I gotta say, LNG played the early mid game so well. They did not fall into unnecessary contests.
Yep.
If they had to give up buffs, they gave it up. If they have to give up Drakes, they were like, you know what, we'll take Herald in the meantime. It doesn't matter. And most crucially, I feel like teams are reading JD Gaming far better than they have been before. If you just target down Zoom, it doesn't feel like JD Gaming have enough punch to get through the early mid game.
Yeah. If you wave clear Yagao, if you beat him in his own game, that's good as well. And then you're left with Imp and Lumao, who the Sivir, the scaling pick, as one item has been left in lane, now moving back to the mid lane as LNG are starting to play aggressive here. Not that they have to, but getting deep vision down while Asura just clears the mid wave. JDG, what are their options here?
They need to force something quickly. And if they can't find anything, I think LNG can just wave clear and really just look at anything. Oh.
That's a good force, though. Imp may have found one. Boomerang into the pizza. Your delivery's ready, says Imp.
That's a start. They really need that mid lane tower down.
That's kick, Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike. No, SofM gets the kick away. Purpose, not sure, but JDG from that can just pick up the mid lane turret.
Good start for him. They're going to get the second Mountain Drake, also very useful in this team composition, and they should be able to transition this into a Baron bait. Double Mountain Drake, early game composition. This is when Jace is still sitting on double pen, just finishes double pen. A very strong situation for JD.
They're trying to find the pick as well. LNG being proactive as ever, as you mentioned. Double mountains there. Asura has the feathers to fly. Will he have to use them? Imp's just standing here waiting to get some of that mana back. This is a good recovery from what was a recovery itself. The recovery of recovery. Now that JDG are playing. Gold dead even once again. Flawless manages to smite it away before Flande steals yet another buff in this series.
Raw fighting power, everything's still on JD Gaming's side. They have the priority in the mid lane as well. So all they need to do is hold steady for this 2 minutes. Let Imp get as much gold as possible. See if he can hit that second item, because that's absolutely massive for him.
Yeah.
And then you just transition straight into the Baron. So easy play track for here. It's really about how LNG is going to react to this. So several key things they need to look for is, number one, are they going to get the flanking wards necessary? Flande is always the one you want to play around, and if he can get that flanking ward while JD Gaming's in the pit, that could be a lights-out play that could demolish whatever early game strength that JD Gaming have naturally with the Jace pick.
Flande with that 2-item slicing Maelstrom. Again, the ultimate to look for. Pop Blossom this time layered on top. And you find a Blade Caller, you find a kick that lands into multiple members, and of course, the hero's entrance that comes from Duan. So easy to see how these ults connect. It really feels like a simple draft from LNG again that is being well executed, while JDG, again, tempo's on their back. They have to start making it work. Zoom not able to push and pressure up as there's no vision down the bottom side here that LNG need to be worried about.
Right, JD Gaming, here's your shot. Massive power spike incoming from Imp, sitting on 50% crit chance over the 1.5 items for LNG. So this Baron is where they should make their stand.
It spawned in 30 seconds time. About to say, like, what time is it? Our games have just felt so mid-gaming-ish.
Yeah, it's been quite slow because LNG has been playing very defensive and they've been doing well. Also important to notice, SofM is on the full damage build. If he gets his hands on Imp, he could stop the damage instantly. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities for him with the Black Cleaver. A lot of times we do see the Lee Sins at this moment in time just going straight for the GA and having better chances in team fights. Yep. He's looking to do some backline assassination.
If Imp is unable to spell shield the kick, which is so hard to do, then there's going to be a lot of trouble. SofM is waiting for that pick. Level 11, so the kick, Dragon's Rage, is going to have so much more damage. But JDG are waiting for the same thing. Baron not being done. LNG have spotted out with a scrying ward. And Plex has gone back and gotten Ghost on top of the Proto Belt. A mix in builds, Clement.
Okay, so he thinks he has enough of the slow, so just adding for some extra damage and survivability with the Proto Belt. He's going to get caught, though.
But Izzy got survivability, Clement. Plex pops on down with the Pop Blossom. Flawless goes golden, but he might just be caught out. The Proto Belt comes through. Repel isn't able to target onto him. Flawless flashes on out as Flande goes golden. Depth charge does nothing as SofM is back out as well. Flande might just have to die here. The Slicing Maelstrom was used, but of course, negated by Flaws. Easy pickings here for JDG.
Questionable ult from Flande. Actually, his team was not in place to contest or follow up with that. Going against Elise with Repel, not the answer you want. It's going to come down to LNG if they can get the Baron steal.
And so SofM relies on him, but look at the positioning. 2 in front of it, 1 to the side in Plex. The other side is Asura. 4 versus 5, and Baron is getting them very low.
He does still have the flash. He had the most Baron steals in the previous split.
SofM!
Oh, he gets it!
Of course he does, Clement! It's SO-bloody-FM!
I told you, this guy was the Vietnamese thief. He's so good at this. Had the most Baron steals for 2 splits onwards. He continues on with that tradition. JD Gaming, they had the numbers advantage. They had the smites ready in their hand, but you can't outsteal SofM. That was very well played. Now, going into this play again, I feel like it was a little bit premature from Flande because if you look at Xayah's position, she was not there. She could not deal damage. There was no follow-up whatsoever. Tries to save his teammates, but falls down for it instead. Lots of summoners invested there. This should have been an easy pickup for JD Gaming, but they didn't get Lee Sin low enough. I think that's a question. SofM, he's always so damn on point for this play.
They tried to burst it down at that moment. You could see it. They're like, we burst it now, but
that
full vision.
Was so smart. He actually flashed to throw off the timing from JD. He had the Q already on the Baron, flashes in.
That was insane.
Yeah.
SofM, of course, though. LNG, they have the Baron buff on 3 members, it seems. Flande and SofM missed out on that opportunity. JDG lose the Ocean Dragon as well. And suddenly all things are even with a natural gold buff with minions buffed up by Nasha. LNG, their defense is very easy here.
JD Gaming, that was their big play. Afterwards, they're not going to be able to push down these towers. As long as LNG have the correct lane allocations, it should be relatively easy defending these. So, JD Gaming, they're put in a very tough situation. You draft 3 winning lanes, you don't get early kills, don't get early Baron with double Mountain Drake, then there's basically none of your investments actually paid off.
You're hoping part of that pick could come down to Imp and his AoE damage on the Sivir. Almost towards that 3-item mark. The Infinity Edge is going to have to start paying dividends here for JDG's AD carriers. That minion hit! Oh, MVP with his last breath just hits open, breaks open the mid lane turret. That's a 1-for-1 turret trade with the Baron buff. LNG better than they could hope for.
And where will JD Gaming actually go? Relegated to wave clearing at this point. They're going to have to wait this one out, but Flawless, I like this idea, you know, going from the sides, trying to catch the bot lane of an LNG off guard. Not going to happen, though.
You can see as that Baron is starting to expire, Flawless starts roaming in a little bit deeper, some of that vision getting back under control. As for LNG, one turret with the Baron buff still, I think that's good enough for now. Because we're getting towards that 25-minute mark. We're 2-item Kai'Sa now as well. Asura only down 20 CS. Mid lane only down 40 CS. And considering that we're almost a 3-item Nico, not bad. Yagao approaching that 3-item mark as well. So everyone getting some of their core items on the board. And Flande is no exception. He's got his own hourglass now. Teamfight's looking better and better here.
I really want to see what happens with JD Gaming. In moments like these, it's typically been Luma who finds that crucial pick to get them back in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of times, JD Gaming, they don't necessarily pull out with their early game comps because they are quite a messy team. They are a team that likes to brawl, and they don't always hold on airtight to their advantages. Whew. Good block there.
Yeah. It's actually an amazing time block.
But they also always have that card in the back of their hand. Just that surprise engage from Lumal. Find the crucial pick and get them back.
LNG clearing vision. Able to get into the enemy side of the jungle. And it was able to finally back as well. Look at where Flande is pushing towards the top side, but this is completely blind. They'll eventually spot out Plex and SofM with the volatile spidling from Floors. Applies a bit of vision, but you can see the setup is here for the next Baron from LNG. For the next Baron for JDG. No vision to the side here. Floors keeps scouting out with those volatile spidlings, just hoping that he gets the right brush.
Like this idea from JD Gaming, you know, pushing out together. They're assuming that LNG could come from all sides, and they're all going to be grouped up in the 5v5. That's exactly how you have to play LNG.
Yeah.
Never assume that just because you don't see people on the map, they're not there. They're always there.
Colonel has gone down. Down under. LNG. So the favoritism is there from the Colonel. But we will see. And like you said, earlier in the game, you know, it's that pick potential. It's the damage that comes here in the mid game. It's really what JDG can provide right now that LNG have to be scared of. Jace has 3 items. The Knight's Vow coming in third. So much lethality here from Yagao, and there isn't that much armor on the side of LNG.
Small correction. It's going to be the Edge of Night. I was like, wow,
what
nice Vow, Jace.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Well, that's an interesting build.
That's my bad. A new Jace meta. Edge of Night, of course. Don't see it on anyone else these days unless we see a Zed. All right.
Quiet moments coming up. Key thing here is
ain't no nap time though, Clement.
Yeah, Flande, I think
up.
at this point he can start split pushing. Like he should be able to do quite well against the against Zoom and Yagao. And SofM is also there to back him up. Next Baron's going to be super crucial.
Yeah, look at it. The worm just swiveled his way in. It's time. I said wake up, I mean it, because we're about to hit the go button. SofM's like, oh, just steal it again.
If JD Gaming go now, it's going to be really bad. Look at that war position for Kennen. I think what they should do is try to at least do some damage to Flande.
That's a bit of damage. That's a flash out before a crucial engage.
And also gets his proto battle as well. So
yeah,
there's not a lot of flank potential here. JD Gaming should try to push harder.
Trying to push them out even further. Yagao's stuck up in this top side on top of Flande. The vision is widespread here from JDG, but the Baron has begun again.
Yeah, I love this move from JD Gaming. This is exactly what they need to do. Things are not going to get better.
Onto Yagao. This time, it looks like JDG have learned their lesson. They want to zone
All right, no
Clement
way.
as Duan is here on the side. Stop the Baron now because Plex and Flande there. Slicing Maelstrom. The Electric Eel on top of the Blossom. They find the Wombo. They find the Hero's Entrance. They find everything, but JDG get Flande. The turnaround is there, but Asura sends out the plays. Gets no root whatsoever. Plex goes golden. SofM takes the one-on-one with the Sivir as Asura is there on top of Yagao. And LNG, they need this pick, but SofM snipes on the side. That monk is not even blind, Clement, as LNG, a good dodge from Asura. Flawless as it at his wit's end, walking away with the Spiderlings. LNG, they come close to losing that fight, but SofM doesn't see him. Flawless escapes, but LNG survived.
JD Gaming outplayed the heck out of the start of the fight. They got Flande away, they dodge out on the double AoE, but at the end of it, it was Agent SofM in the backline wrecking havoc. You could see the 1v1 versus between him and Imp. I thought this was going to spell doom for JD Gaming. I didn't think they were going to be able to walk away from that, but really smart move right here. You see Duan forcing out the Zhonya's early from Flande. They get him down, but SofM kicking him back into the fight, following him with the WQ combo and taking his life with the Zhonya's. That's insane.
That man.
Oh. Can we just give him the MVP right now?
SofM has had a great return to the lead scene. World-class stuff to watch and experience right here. And LNG, after that fight, they come away with the 1-kill advantage. Gold lead as well. Are they spotted out? I don't think so. Flande has no idea where they are. So for JDG, thing again getting desperate as they look for their picks, but LNG are not walking blindly into that night. Waiting for JDG to show themselves. They then get river control. They can clear out vision here, and you can expect to see JDG try to fight for this one back.
JD Gaming know that there are no teleports.
Lumao almost dies. In fact, he might. Flande proto-belts him to death. Big mistake from the support, JDG. Their window is closing.
Huh. Oh, okay. that was a bit of a head scratcher right there. Xayah was in plain view, but it does seem like Lumao just underestimated the damage.
Such a good pick, though, from LNG, and it was on the back of Asura. Gets the Blade Caller in that situation, gets the root, and now for LNG, they start the Baron. This time it's theirs.
It's Flawless' turn to get something back. We've already seen the Baron steal once this game.
Yeah.
Flawless can do it again.
Take my words away. Is it really theirs at 2K? They pull off the Baron. It still hasn't reset. SofM keeps it in contention as the Chaos Storm zones them away, but Baron is resetting. Redemption is just so OP. JDG, their 5th member in Lumao, is back up and available. And LNG back away from Baron.
Insane poke job right there from JD Gaming. They get 2 Shock Blasts down, and also Zoom is able to contribute a little bit. 4v5, no problem. They still scare LNG away from the Baron.
Look at SofM, still waiting over the side, making sure that Baron is not being done. He'll be poked out by Yagao, who wants to close the gap, but Baron now finally started. Lumao on zoning patrol. SofM is here.
There's no way, right?
4K.
There's no way, right?
SofM, stop it. No. It's going to go down. JDG secure the Baron, and SofM at half health goes on in anyway. Kicks back Yagao. Might die for a bit of his wit here. SofM lives for now, and Yagao doesn't have the shock blast. A 5 for 5 still left standing as JDG get their reward.
Really smart fighting by JD Gaming overall. They sensed the moment that LNG has to back out. They were down a number in that entire instance, but it didn't matter. They had to force the reset for LNG, and with that double Mountain Drake, they finally get their chance to take it down. Great poke damage coming out from the Victor, and they're showing that they still have some good teeth even in the late game. LNG, I think the problem is they don't really have a front line who can take those shock blasts to the face.
I mean, you look at both of these teams and you say, hey, look, the 80 carries are going to feel more and more crucial at this point. And we're speaking about late game because Imp is at that point where the Sivir is just almost a 4-5 items, and that is a menace of an 80 carry. So although JDG will lose elements like the Jace, maybe more of the Victor, the Elise, of course, still has big potential. Imp is on a Sivir, and Sivir is going to hit with that pizza frisbee all night long.
Crucial play is, can SofM actually find him in the back line once more? JD Gaming have been so patient around this Baron. That was 3 tries in a row that they finally got. The first time they got the teleports, the second time they got the HP bars, and finally on the third time they did get the Baron.
They did. So the trial has finally ended for JDG, or maybe it's just begun. They're going to break open this mid lane turret. The siege has begun itself as well. And can LNG defend this? Well, they have the wave clear with Asura and Plex, but Plex gets half health from one laser and a bit of a combination. Yagao's pushing this up as well, and this is starting to get frustrating for LNG because the Baron is doing good work.
Very dangerous situation, but we also have to pay close attention to Plex positioning. The Tangle Barbs is one of the best anti-siege weapons you have.
But he can't get near. And LNG lose their inhibitor turret at the base, well and truly broken. Zoom walking all the way up. LNG do not want to take this fight. They're giving up the inhibitor, and fair be it. As LNG lose the core element in the mid lane. JDG moving top.
Big difference in this game is I feel like JD Gaming has done a much better job at denying Flande flanks. There hasn't been a single successful one so far. Before the Baron, they chased Flande out, and when he did come in, instant lockdown with the Nautilus. Much better play on this, on Luma on this champion.
Yeah.
So I think the same thing has to come around here. LNG, they're still looking for Flande. He does have the home guards and the teleports, and he's backing. So this is a prime time for them to find the comeback.
Thought they found Lumao, but meanwhile, Yagao is split pushing this turret.
Woo.
He's going to get the inhibitor turret himself. There's nothing they can do. Yagao's still here, but he's overstayed his mark. Flandre is going to go in while the rest of the team... What? Flandre! Mistake. That was not the right button. JDG, thumbs up is right, because they can keep pushing this.
You got to love that play from Yagao, just rubbing some salt into the wound.
That is rough. That could have been a pick. And LNG now with on the hunt proc by JDG underneath the inhibitor turret, which has just been destroyed. LNG are without hope, it seems, here in front of their own base. Not for the game itself, but to defend against JDG, who have now broken the top side as well.
Fun times with Flande. I feel bad for the guy.
He wanted to press the proto belt, Clement.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It hurts because everyone's done it.
Yeah,
everyone's done it at some point.
That essentially gave up the top tower as well, so there was a lot invested in that play. We're not harping on a mistake because it is a mistake, but the fact of how much it actually cost JD Gaming. How much it actually cost LNG, and all of their inhibitor turrets are down with that single push.
That's a really big moment in the game for LNG. See what Flandre can do to maybe recover himself, redeem himself. LNG still have that composition on their side, but everything has become quiet. JDG lead by 2k gold, but at 35 minutes starting to mean less and less. As BT now picked up for Imp. That's a 4-item Sivir. There's a stopwatch in inventory, so expect the GA to come pretty soon. Depends on the gold. What are we looking at? No GA just yet, but same will be of Yagao at the 40-minute mark or so. So we're finishing off builds here, Clement. And pretty scary stuff on the side of JDG still at this point.
They have exceeded my expectations with their ability to poke. They've been finding just the damage before LNG can really react and close the distance. Yeah. And also, they've actually cleared their flanks quite well. LNG has tried multiple times with their warding positions, but JD Gaming has either split pushed them to avoid the flanking disaster that happened in Game 1, or they've just cleared out all the wards correctly.
There's been a lot of priority on JDG's vision game, and especially in this game, where LNG been aggressive towards the red side, have been swapping sides of the map. JDG have kept up consistently. Now LNG, this could be a bit of an oversight because JDG have silently snuck up to the top side of the map. Jace has been spotted, but that's an open inhibitor while, hello, what are we doing, LNG? They're waiting for someone, but there's no one there.
We see the flanking wards. The pings are going down. Flandre is in position.
I mean, could they just end the game? JDG like we just might end the game, and that's a 4-man slicing Maelstrom that delays thing. Even Flandre does the damage. He'll die for it. Populous and Plex too early. Looks like LNG really wanted to hit the go button as Lumao is the lowest member. Sonic Wave will not connect onto him. And LNG lose their top laner. Plex burns the ulti early, and the Sonic Wave can't connect from SofM. LNG are falling apart towards the end of this game.
That was really smart from JD Gaming. They see LNG behind them. I thought they were going to, you know, be a little bit flustered by that, try to back out, reset their position, but no, they were going straight in.
Teleport in front of Baron. We begin again. Yagao takes the blast going, but not into the pit. Instead, trying to zone away as SofM is still here. 8k is the Baron. resetting now. As JDG are not going to take that risk again, but they start it back up. They do it so quickly with triple Mountain Dragon.
Damage here is absolutely insane, but SofM, if you look at the levels, he is on even footing with Elise.
Has the flash available, but there's no wards inside the pit. SofM, Sonic Wave does not connect either. Has the flash at 3k. Lumel and Yagao are there. Sonic Wave, will he take it? He does not. Baron number 2, not of the game, but of JDG's life in this game, has been secured.
Tough situation for JD Gaming right there, but I love what they did on the back of that Baron pit. Imp was standing guard. If he found SofM, it was going to be a boomerang to the face, warding them out with the damage and the poke potential that they had. And it's going to be a double
I don't
major
think
objective.
LNG get here because the triple, what are you called? Mountain Dragon just does so much for these two. Goodbye, Elder Dragon. Hello, JDG.
LNG, they need to string together that one successful team fight. We haven't seen it the entire game long. JD Gaming has been denying them over and over. This time they do have 2 of those deep wards somewhere down. The pings are down, but they've also took a shock blast.
Yagao still does a hell of a lot of damage, doesn't matter what minute it is. If you have no armor, you're going to feel it. Double inhibitor goes down, make that 3 in total. And JDG with the Baron buff want to make this a game 3. Minions slowly working away at the Nexus turret. And for LNG, they need to make a decision because there goes one. Next one might come through as well. The flank's there. They stop Flande. Flawless just sits him down. It's a game of musical chairs, but the song didn't even begin. Plex there with the Pop Blossom. Down to 1, not even 1. Make it a flat 0 as the Civ are now free-firing. The Hero's entrance is there, and JDG recover well as Yagao goes golden before SofM can get the kill. He even snipes down the last one, and JDG take us the distance and show us that there's still life in this squad.
JD Gaming are so damn consistent with the way